Attention. Attention. A special news bulletin is about to commence. You are being instructed to turn the volume up for this special announcement from Geek News Central.
It's Monday, May 20th, and you're listening to the Geek at Geek News Central, the longest continuous running tech podcast. This is show number 860, sponsored in part by GoDaddy.com. Our May GoDaddy special. Get 32% off at GoDaddy using promo code GO32OFF1. Or get a .com for $2.49. Geek News Central is a proud member of the Tech Podcast Network. If it's tech, it's here. Before we roll into the intro, we got a winner here for our YouTube giveaway, and we're getting real close to our goal. You know what comes next. Strap in. Here it comes.
This is the Geek News Central podcast, part of the Tech Podcast Network. If it's tech, it's here. So grab a cup of coffee, take a seat, and crank up that volume. Because you're listening to Todd on the Geek News Central podcast.
Aloha and welcome to Geek News Central, coming to you live as it can be from the beautiful state of Hawaii. Hey everyone, welcome to the show. Hey, how's everybody doing? I tell you what, we got a great show lined up for you here, and I'm rip roaring and ready to go. And as I said in our previous show, we're going to be kind of kicking things around a little bit and playing around with the intros and looking forward to your submissions as well. But I want to welcome all of you to the show today. We've got a great one lined up for you. Lots to talk about, lots to share with you here. And, of course, I want to give a warm welcome to all of you that are longtime listeners that are part of the family here, part of the Ohana. Thanks for being subscribed and staying subscribed. And those of you brand new to the show, make sure you get over to geeknewscentral.com. Check out all our great content. Our writers over there are doing a great job and putting up lots of great content. Of course, we've got the Gadget Professor. We have Robot Underpants, the new media show. And, of course, this show every Monday and Thursday, Geek News Central. Get subscribed to the show. You can find that right there in the second column of the website. Also, get connected with our newsletter. Our newsletter contains everything that I'm going to talk about today during the show. You get that delivered, obviously, directly to your inbox immediately you're following the show. So get signed up for the newsletter. That way that you'll never miss a single episode. Of course, if you want to reach out to me, it's real easy to do so. You can do it via Twitter at Geek News. You can email me here 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. geeknews@gmail.com. And our hotline, of course, is available as well, 619-342-7365. And reach out to me on all those spaces. Of course, I'm available up on Google+, on Facebook, everywhere else. All you got to do is just search for me. You'll find me. Hey, how's everybody doing? I hope everyone had a great weekend. And for those of you in the United States are listening, what are you guys going to do for your Memorial Day weekend that's fast approaching here in the next week? And you're looking forward to 3 days off? I tell you, it's the first basically big holiday, kind of like the summer season for those of us here in the U.S. And we do some barbecuing, and it's time when people will get their campers out, all kinds of good stuff. So what do you guys got planned for the Memorial Day weekend? Hey, I don't want to spend too much time tonight going through just chitter-chatter stuff. I do want to mention, of course, that this show is part of the Tech Podcast Network over at techpodcast.com. Check out all those great shows over there, 140 plus, family safe. That way you can listen with the kids. You won't have to worry about someone saying something they shouldn't. Get a good education, lots of content, and a variety of topics on the website. We do want to thank the folks at Livestream. That's who's got the live show up tonight for us. So I want to thank them. I also want to thank our good friends over at GoDaddy.com for being one of our longtime sponsors here at Geek News Central. I tell you, GoDaddy has really been here for us year after year, month after month. And really, this is a great month for you to save some great, put some great savings in your pocket. And really, it's real easy to do. All you do is come over to my website. You click on that banner right at the top of the website. You get a $2.49.com plus a free one-page website. I got a little better option for you than that. But you can scroll down the scroll down the website here. And you can actually, as this thing's going to start playing, so let me click out of here. Click on the GoDaddy promo code box, and that's going to get you into the section where really it tells you everything about all the deals that we have. And all you got to do is go over to geeknewscentral.com/GoDaddy. We got the $2.49 for one, new or transfer.com for the first year for $2.49 using promo code GEEK249. Or we got 32% off your total new order amount by using promo code GO32OFF1. And then we've got lots and lots and lots of everyday offers that are non-expiring. $20 off, $10 off, $5 off. We've got $8.49.com renewals. We've got 10% off, 20% off, 50, all kinds of codes there that's going to save you a bunch of cash. And definitely get over to GoDaddy. They've got domain names, just about everything else in the sun. Their website builder, I really like that. This is pretty cool system. It really makes it easy for you to get started and doing a website. And you can save a lot of money by using one of our promo codes if you pick up one of their website builders. But don't forget, they've got, again, the domain names, and they've got the shared hosting, dedicated hosting. And the best part is they're there to help. And I'm here to help as well. So if you ever have a problem with your GoDaddy purchase, you definitely want to email me, and I'll reach out to my contacts at GoDaddy. So they got lots of products. Again, domains, hosting and server, storage, web design, products to improve your business, email products, SSL and security products, auctions. And that's one of the places I go quite a bit is over the auctions part of their website. So thank you to GoDaddy for being a sponsor here. And just, thank them as well on Twitter. That's a good way if you don't purchase a product to tell them, hashtag GoDaddy. Thanks for being a sponsor of Geek News Central. And that will really help us out. Of course, our good friend over at GoDaddy, Danica, has a few words to say about it as well.
Hi, this is Danica Patrick, racing star and GoDaddy girl. I rely on my race team to make my cars lean and mean. And I know the geek here at Geek News Central relies on the team at GoDaddy for lean, mean web products like domain names, hosting, and email. Check out all of Todd's great GoDaddy deals at geeknewscentral.com/GoDaddy.
Thanks, Dan. Whoa. We don't need you. We don't need you again. Attention. We already played that. I think I should put those on single play. What do you guys think? Jeez. Oh, anyway, let's just go into my little bit of short topics here. Hey, we had the new media show this past Saturday with Tim Street on. Tim could only be with us for a short amount of time, and so he was able to stay on about 40 minutes or so. And let's see if I can actually bring this up for you guys. And Tim, he was one of the real early podcasters that really had it figured out from a production standpoint. And Tim basically did French Made TV. And Rob and I had Tim on, and we talked about what he does at M Dialogue and basically about the space. So that was a great show on Saturday, and one that you may want to take time and check out. Some of you will probably know Tim. This coming weekend, we're going to have, I believe it's a guest from the FCC. Yeah, we're going to have someone on from the FCC, and it's going to be about closed captioning and what it means for those of us that are creating content like I am in the digital space and some of the new rules that are forthcoming. So that'll be a nice guest. And again, he probably is only going to be on about 30 minutes. And then we'll get someone else to come on for the remainder of the show. But the new media show is doing real well from a take-up standpoint. So we're real pleased with it. Now, on the last show, I put a plea out to all of you. And if you haven't done this already, go over to youtube.com/Geek News and subscribe to my channel on YouTube. And let me load up here. We had a fantastic response. I mean, really, really fantastic. And I was just blown away by the number of you that basically reached out and took care of me and by subscribing. But what we want to do is we're going to give $100 to Dustin Teal. Dustin, you subscribed to the page. Your actually YouTube username. I don't know if I'm allowed to say it or not, but Dustin Teal. Send me a link to your YouTube page. I know what or to your user account. Let me see if I can actually load this up. Will it actually show me your user account? Yes, it will. So I can go ahead and probably email you myself. But anyway, Dustin, congratulations. $100 to you And thanks for subscribing, and everyone else that did as well. We definitely appreciate it. So what I'm going to do for the next show, we're still doing our grab bag giveaway. And really, we're making it simple to win. And really, on our grab bag giveaway, we're going to do another random prize. The only thing you have to do to get in for the next show's offering is to email me and tell me one thing, just one thing you'd like to add to the show, not subtract. We'll ask that at a later time. One thing to add to the show. Email me that, and we'll pull a prize out of the random giveaway box. We've given away a Google TV. We've given away a laptop bag, and I don't even really know what's next in the box. I've got like 4 of those gray boxes that have lids on them that is full of stuff that we're going to be giving away throughout the summer. So definitely going to be looking forward to getting rid of this stuff. And actually, the first 2 items are gone. They're out of here. They've been shipped. But again, one thing you don't like about the show, email me here. Or one thing to add to the show, email me here at geeknews@gmail.com, and we'll get you in the running. We did have some additional emails come in from the last show, so we'll definitely cover that at the end of the show tonight. Again, don't forget our hotline's available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week for you to leave your comments. This past weekend was pretty uneventful. Things were pretty busy here from a family standpoint. My daughter, she's at that age, so the boys are calling, and one particular boy is calling a lot. And so, Hawaii is not that, or Oahu is not that big. From one side, now if you could get on the expressway and you could drive 70 from my house to an area called Hawaii Kai, if you could drive 70 miles an hour or even 55, it would be about maybe 40 minutes. It would be about the perfect run. But with traffic, that can turn into, a considerable amount of time. So she's, both of them are not licensed drivers yet. So she's been begging me, hey, Dad, I want to go, I've been invited to go to this, that, and this and that, and this and that. Can you drive me over and drop me off? I'm like, well, if he was a guy of merit, he'd be coming to get you, and he'd tell his dad to drive him. And long story short, it's I guess it's the modern age. So I drove her all the way across the other side, which is really not that far. Dropped her off, and then the family and I we did a couple activities, went to lunch and stuff on Sunday. Wife did some shopping around, but other than that, pretty uneventful. But about 4 hours later, picked my daughter up and drove home, and she's got it bad, fellas. You know how it is, right? When the daughter gets the first boyfriend. It's all I can say. She's going to be 17 here soon, so it is what it is, right? You just hope that all the training and all the discussions and the morality stuff and everything else sticks, but, there's that hormone thing going on that just doesn't stop. And I was able to, what was kind of cool, though, was pretty much non-traditional. Was actually met the parents, which was kind of, that's kind of odd for their first little date. So, but it worked out good. So, anyway, pretty cool. All right, so let me go ahead here and get into one last thing, and then we'll get into the content tonight. I got a full stack of stuff, and we want to welcome the folks from GoToMeeting back to Geek News Central as a sponsor. They were off for a couple of weeks, scheduled off time, and the people that I work with are not folks that I see every day. Angelo is in Cincinnati, Columbus, Brian's in Cincinnati, Barry's in Grand Rapids, Jeff's in Manhattan, Kathy is in Colorado. Mike is in Saginaw. So, the team is all over, and we are on email all day, and, coworkers are on the go, different offices, and clients are truly spread across the country and across the globe. And to work efficiently today, you need to have a stronger connection to your team. So to build trust, to stay focused, and to brainstorm, and those are really important things that you're doing when you're building a company, It's one of the main reasons we use GoToMeeting with HD Faces. It's really a powerful and simple way to meet online and see each other face to face. And, here's the important part. With GoToMeeting by Citrix, your team is simply just a click away, and you share the same screen to collaborate in real time. And just turn on your webcam and make your online meetings an HD video conference. Feels like in your same room. You don't even have to do the screen stuff. You just do the typical video conferencing stuff, and it all feels like you're in the same room. And the beauty about the video conferencing part, it's amazingly clear. It's incredible. It really is. So launch a join meeting from anywhere using your computer, smartphone, or a tablet. Even present with your iPad. So, we use this on a regular basis. Matter of fact, many times I just leave the GoToMeeting session open. People pop in. We have one basically permanent a meeting number we use again and again and again, so the guys know how to jump in. But really, what is most important is for you to try to GoToMeeting free for 30 days. And for this special offer, you visit GoToMeeting.com. And when you get over there, now let me show you the website. This is a piece of cake. When you get over to the website, all right, all you got to do is click on that Try It Free button. There's a little orange Try It Free button on the website at GoToMeeting.com. It's going to take you to another page there, and it's going to ask you for your name, your email address, and there's a little box that says promo code. And all you're going to do is type in that promo code podcast, PODCAST, and that gets us credit and also gets you that free 30-day trial. GoToMeeting is believing. Again, for the special offer, visit GoToMeeting.com, click on the Try It Free button, and use the promo code podcast. And we'll thank GoToMeeting for being back here as one of our main sponsors during the show. All right, so let me go ahead and close this out, and then we'll go ahead and get into the full stack of stuff I have today. And a stack it is. And let me make sure that we close that. We don't need that there. No, we don't need this one. Okay, good. Yes, I'm talking to myself. So I want to welcome the folks in the chat room, Dale and Jetstream 2K. Thanks for being in the chat room tonight. I know it's late, and most of the country, people are fast asleep, 2:30 in the morning on the East Coast, already 11:30 p.m. Pacific time. And for those of you that are in Australia or Asia or other parts of the country, love to have you guys tune in, and just do the math on the time. We're GMT minus 10. Feel free to join us. Really join the show on your in your time zone, because sometimes you guys are closer from basically being able to watch live than many other people are in the United States. So, see, I'm trying to put this document in the right folder here. So let me go ahead and click that, and we hit save, and we're good. Okay. So let me close that. Too many windows open here on the El Computer. Nay. Beautiful weather here in Honolulu right now. I mean, absolutely gorgeous with trade winds. Over the weekend were a little stale, but other than that, it's a great weekend. All right, big news. Of course, this weekend popped where Yahoo decided they're going to acquire Tumblr for $1.1 billion. And, if you think about that, that's a pretty big number. And that is a very young CEO who is going to be a very rich young man, not to mention someone in Florida who has gotten they hit the lotto today or this past weekend as well. I'm remiss. I must stop and take just a moment. I was really buried today in paperwork. So I'm remiss in saying I should have had this in the beginning of the show. I apologize, but hearts go out to all of the folks in Oklahoma and Kansas. They've had these horrible tornadoes. The death toll I'm hearing is rising in Oklahoma City. The elementary school that got hit, absolute tragedy. So far, I guess 20 children have died, 30 plus adults. They feel that number is going to go up. And, Mother Nature is ruthless. And they just basically a take no prisoners type of storm. And it's really bad. And, you would think for a city like Oklahoma, which gets so many bad storms, and Oklahoma City is not unknown for having tornadoes hit it, you would think that those schools would have some sort of a basement, you know. But I grew up in Michigan. I know our school didn't have a basement, but you would think right there, you're in tornado country. You would think that the school would have a basement, but so hearts go out to those families and any of the Ohana that are in the storm area. Thoughts and prayers go out to you and yours. I hope that your families come through this okay. But boy, the storm conditions were just perfect to really turn out some monster storms there. And having been affected as a child with the family that was struck by a tornado, and then not my house personally, but my grandparents, and have had friends. My friend lost his mother to what's known as the Palm Sunday tornadoes. So not it's really has no boundaries when it comes to what happens when these tornadoes touch down. But and the thing is, they're just so random; you just never know. But again, hearts go out to those folks in those states and cities and wherever these storms have struck over the last couple of days. All right, back to the tech content. Well, anyway, so Yahoo acquiring Tumblr for about $1.1 billion, and that's big. And they're saying that Tumblr is going to be independently operated as a separate business, with the CEO remaining as CEO, and the service will continue to be developed separately with the same Tumblr irrelevance, wit, and commitment to empower creators, including all the adult creators that are on the website. So Tumblr brings 50 billion blog posts to Yahoo's media network and search services, and the two companies work together to develop advertising opportunities. And I'm going to tell you, it's all about the page views in a big, big way. It is truly all about the page views. Now, who's that leave left? Facebook went public. Blogger's owned by Google. WordPress.com is still out there. Tumblr is obviously off the books. So really, Pinterest is probably the next target, really on the radar. So, there's got to be a significant interest in Pinterest. But the question is it affordable to someone to be able to buy? Now, the folks at WordPress.com think that Yahoo paid too little money for Tumblr. He thought that the price should have been 10 times. And, I have to give Matt props because, he's sitting on a company that he's probably going to want to sell at some point. So guess what? Of course he wants to hype up what the company should have sold for versus what they got. $1.1 billion is not pocket change. And I think that was a pretty significant buy. And the investors of Tumblr definitely had a big payday today. So, but again, congratulations to the team, and we'll see what happens with Pinterest or some of the other Instagram or so forth that may be still on the table. So I want to talk a little bit about all this stuff that's been going on in privacy, and really the crazy stuff that's been going on in DC right now should scare the living crap out of all of us. With the IRS, basically, I've had my run-in. I've had 3 audits. I've had, 4? 3 questionnaire stuff asked. And basically, I've gotten stuff from time to time from the IRS. And when you get those envelopes, it just scares the living crap out of you because they want to know something. And it could open up and could be simple as provide this, or bring your entire bookkeeping system down and we'll take a look at what you've been doing. It could be, it can go to that extreme. So it's your word against them, and you're guilty. You have to prove yourself innocent. Well, with the FBI, it's kind of the same way. The FBI has and I didn't ever know this until today, and there's an article over on Tech Dirt that talks about this, is if you were ever brought underneath the jurisdiction of the FBI and you end up in an interrogation room with them, they will not record the interview. Unlike most local police departments and stuff who record interviews, the FBI strictly forbids any sort of recording device when interviewing suspects. And FBI agents always interview in pairs. One agent asks the questions, while the other writes up what is called a Form 302 report based on his notes. The 302 report, which the interviewee does not normally see, becomes the official record of the exchange. Any interviewee who contests its accuracy risks prosecution for lying to a federal official, which is a felony. And here is the key problem here that throws the accuracy of all such statements and reports into doubt. FBI agents almost never electronically record their interrogation. Again, to do so would be against written policy. So what you end up with is when you are interrogated by the FBI, the transcript is all based upon the interviewing agent's thoughts. It's editorialized. It's not verbatim. It can be inserted. You can write topics or write notes on something that would be interpreted a certain way, and it's not an accurate transcript. It's basically, again, someone else's thoughts. So, if you are being asked a line of questioning, you could really get yourself backwards. How often do you go to this website? Well, I don't know how often I go. Once in a while. So how they can interpret that is, well, he says he goes often. They could say that. So it's kind of an interesting thing. I never knew this about the FBI. So just be aware of it. If you get in that situation, sometimes it's better to invoke your constitutional rights and wait till your lawyer arrives and not say anything. That's probably the best thing. And anytime you're in a situation like that, unless you're completely innocent and you're not being charged with anything, you use your best judgment there. But it's an interesting move here. Now, with the Department of Justice, who've been going after AP, and now it appears that they're going against, or they have been pulling records from a Fox News reporter. If I was a reporter in the regular biz, if I was a New York Times or a major media news source where I was actually going out and trying to get people to talk to me and tell me stuff, I would be raging. And I think all of us understand it with the freedom of the press. The press is out there to find information, and you may not like their viewpoint, but at least they're out there supposed to ask questions, supposed to dig stuff up, find facts, back them up, get them collaborated, and then write, articles, exposés, and expose stuff, and reveal stuff. And it's obviously the people giving up that information. If they give it up, they're not supposed to. They're at risk of basically, going to jail. But what's going on recently is that there's now this new war on journalists where the Department of Justice is basically almost to the point of accusing a journalist to be a co-conspirator when he's a reporter. Our First Amendment right is very important. And this new tactic that's being played out, and I don't care if you are a Republican, a Democrat, an independent, I don't care what your politics are. When it comes to the Constitution and when it comes to our rights, we've talked about this a lot on this show. It's because I want to make sure people are understanding, this is a very, very slippery slope. Now, when I was in the Navy, I signed a disclosure. I had to sign away a whole bunch of stuff. I had to give them access to my medical records, my financial records. And so when I held a security clearance, I had to sign a whole bunch of stuff, giving Uncle Sam the right to go and look at that stuff. I signed that voluntarily. They went and they were able to pull that data based upon my written permission. They also made me sign a piece of paper that basically sealed my lips for life on stuff that I was exposed to. And my understanding is that if I ever talk or reveal or do something that is against that agreement, I'm facing very long prison time. So anyone that gives information to a reporter that's sharing information they shouldn't be, they are, I'm going to tell you, they are subject to be going to jail for a very long, long, long time. But at the same point, you can't blame the reporters for trying to get the information. But at the same point, should a reporter's phone, notes, emails be subpoenaed so they can get in and dig around? So if this is the case, what's going to happen now is whistleblowers, people that feel there's been injustice, people that are they can't live with their conscience, maybe they were part of something, they're not going to say nothing. They're going to clam up and not talk to the press. And, in some of you are going to say that's a good thing. Some are saying it's a bad thing. I don't think anyone should be, anyone that's signed an agreement with the government to basically not reveal something, I feel they should honor that, obviously. It's a matter of national security and everything else. They did that for a reason. And the government has a reason for keeping that information private. So, but at the same time, I don't know how I get this weird thing here about them going and tapping journalists' phones and stuff. It just, to me, weirds me out quite a little bit. I don't know about you guys, but with the stuff going on with the IRS, the stuff going on with the Department of Justice, it makes you go, "Whoa, what is going on?" And whoever the individuals are that are responsible for this and some of these transgressions and in some cases maybe even crimes, I hope they're held accountable. I really do, because we're already weirded out enough as it is about the Internal Revenue Service. You just you pay your taxes. That's one thing is assured in life: death and taxes, right? And if you don't pay them, you're gonna get locked up or worse. You're gonna have your house and home removed from you. So I don't know. I just love to hear you guys' feedback on this. Are you guys like weirded out about this? Again, let's leave the politics aside. Let's try to do that if we can, and just look at the pure actions. Now, if other administrations did this, shame on them as well. So don't get me wrong, but this has just come out in the news, and you guys, I'm a big privacy nut from that consideration and everything else. It just should all make us all sit back and go, wow, what is the deal? And some people, well, they're not engaged and they continue to be sheep, and they just, continue to go on, do their daily thing and say it's not a big deal. But I think this is a big deal. Especially if you can just leave the politics aside and look at it for face value, I think the majority of us would be pretty outraged. All right, so let's move on here. Reporter threatened. This is another one. Scripps News reporter discovered 170,000 copies, records online of a customer's, Scripps News reporter discovered 170,000 records online of customers of Lifeline, a government program offering an affordable phone service for low-income citizens that contain everything needed for identity theft. Last year, the FCC tightened the rules for the program by requiring Lifeline phone carriers to document applicants' eligibility, which led to collecting more sensitive information about the citizens. Again, the Scripps News investigative team claims it Googled the phone companies Terracom.Incorporated and Yourtel.America to discover all the files. The Scripps reporter asked for an on-camera interview with the CEO of Terracom and Yourtel after explaining the files were freely available online. That did not happen, but shortly thereafter, the customer's records disappeared from the internet. Then the blame the messenger hacker accusation and mudslinging began. Although the Scripps reporter videotaped the process showing how they found the documents, they've threatened Scripps hackers with violating the Computer Fraud and Abuse Act. So here you got a reporter says, "Hey, you got a problem. Will you talk to us?" And they say, "No, we're going to threaten you now." What's wrong with companies? What is wrong? If someone called me and say, "Todd, you got an issue," I'd be like, "Really? Where is it? How'd you find it? Thank you. We'll talk about this after I get it locked down, and then you do damage control, right? You don't go after and threaten the guy." So I think it's more important than ever to support the EFF. And the EFF takes donations in cash, and now they've just started taking donations again in Bitcoins. So after a 2-year hiatus, basically EFF is pretty happy to take Bitcoins as a donation. So if you want to support the EFF, get your checkbooks out. They're doing a lot of good things. They really are. And I do an annual donation to the EFF. It's not a big one, a small donation every year. And I hope that you'll consider it as well, because it's this type of stuff that's happening in the space right now. We need a voice out there to help us, protect us, and everything else that's going on. All right, now this is going to switch gears here a little bit here, and we're going to get off the whole conspiracy and criminal activities that are going on, in my opinion, in the government level. So we know that that there's a lot of companies out there that have data centers. Well, apparently the National Security Agency has a data center as well. See, where's it at? It's in the center of Camp Williams, south of Salt Lake City. And the Salt Lake Tribune obtained a series of email exchanges between the feds and the state, with the NSA protesting a $2.4 million tax on its annual power expenditure, pegged at about $40 million. So basically, NASA was sending a letter to the state officials that made logistics argument, and they're facing a pretty big tax bill here for this. But long story short, here they want to be waived from paying the tax. But if you're going to do business, and specifically on power, there's certain taxes that are put on power consumption. So I think they should pay it, but we'll see how this works out. But your taxpayer dollars at work. Of course, with the situation happening in Oklahoma, the Red Cross is using apps to help warn people about potential warm weather calamities, and it has what's called the Tornado app. The app, which by last week had 270,000 downloads, definitely saw a spike in downloads as a result of the outbreak of violent weather in Oklahoma and throughout the Midwest. So the Red Cross app, which was released March 4th and updated May 2nd, has quite a few features, including providing a historic map of tornadoes going back some 60 years and a lot of other features as well. So this is something, if you're worried about this weather situation, you can go grab the app and download it and install it on your phone. So look for Red Cross Tornado app. I'm backing up here. The live stream is audio's bad tonight. Poor audio, buzzy, muffled. Oh, great. Thanks for the heads up on the audio tonight, guys. My little bug is back. I think it's time to call New Tech and get this box officially replaced. So anyway, that's up and available. All right, a New York official, an Airbnb client, has been fined $2,400. An administrative law judge decided a man leasing a condo broke New York state laws after he rented out part of his home on Airbnb. So please check your local jurisdiction on what is allowed and what isn't, so that you don't get in trouble. Okay. All right, Flickr has had a big update today. Flickr's new $499.99 per year doubler service. Well, first of all, let me back up. Yahoo and Money increased the amount of storage of Flickr by 70-fold, and at the same time, quietly introduced really two pro tiers of service. You get 1 terabyte now with Flickr as part of the basic plan. And then for $49 a year, you get a plan that gets rid of the ads. And then if you want up to 2 terabytes of storage, you get $499 per year is the cost, which is really an incredible price if you think about it. So anyway, long story short here, the new Flickr site looks pretty nice, but lots of stuff being updated, so definitely check it out. But they did away with the pro service, and really the 1 terabyte should support most people with the number of pictures that they want to put up online. And a lot of folks are asking for some additional tools with the Flickr, which I don't think they've been able to implement. But as you remember, last week, Google gave everyone 15 gigs of space to store their photos. So, this week, Yahoo has taken that to 1 terabyte, which is considerably more in the long run. Spot. We've talked about Spot before. Spot expands its lineup with a satellite-powered global phone. The Spot global phone delivers voice and basic data to remote locations for $499. that's available now. And we've talked about Spot quite a bit in the past. And Dale, how bad is the audio tonight? Looking for a response in chat. So anyway, the Spot Global Phone delivers voice and data, basic data remote locations. And it's just basically a sat phone is what it is. And what does it cost? It's a $50 activation fee. Monthly service plans, which range from 10 minutes per month for $25 to unlimited calling for $150, aren't that outrageous either for a global phone. But if you just need one to stay safe while you're in Outback somewhere, that is a consideration. So Spot, they have a full line of other products as well. Moving on here. Live blog, Microsoft Next Xbox is going to reveal at 10 a.m. Pacific tomorrow morning. So they're not waiting to E3 to pull back the curtain on its follow on to the Xbox 360. And Microsoft schedules a presentation for select press at Redmond campus. So Xbox, a new generation, will be revealed. So we'll see. And this is Microsoft's first console unveiling in over 8 years. And this is they've been planning a big splash in answer to Sony's February PS4 event. So I'm sure we're going to hear everything about the new Xbox tomorrow, and probably be a lot more. Now, one thing that people are saying is probably going to happen is switch to PC hardware in Windows 8 is potentially what's going to happen. There's probably going to be a Blu-ray player in it, lots of live TV, cable of your courtesy box, and so we'll see what this is all about. But we'll see where they come out with this and what kind of hardware and what kind of services they're going to be offering. Of course, we talked about Apple. A new Senate report shows that Apple has been employing potentially sketchy, according to the government, business methods to avoid heavier tax burden. According to the investigation, the company dodged billions in potential taxes on $44 billion in foreign income during the past 4 years. And some of the interesting points from the Senate's report is 3 Apple subsidiaries in Ireland claim no responsibility to pay income taxes to any country. Apple Operations International, one of the Ireland 3, reported $30 billion income during 2009 to 2012, despite having no employees and not filing income taxes anywhere within the last 5 years. So interesting move here. And Apple's basically kind of come out and say they would support changes to tax laws, even if they had to pay more. The auction that was going to basically sell Neil Armstrong's heartbeat as he was getting ready to land on the moon is not going to be sold. NASA has asked for a little time to take a look at that material to make sure that none of it was still owned by the government. But this rare moon memorabilia, again, was pulled by NASA, and they're reviewing it. So we'll see what happens with this. If this is basically cleared at some point for auction or not, only time will tell. All right, those of you that live up in Canada, Canadian police and government have been caught pirating movies and TV shows. Should this come as any surprise? You know, the nighttime desk watch, kind of a little bit bored, so let's pull down a movie. So a few of the hits that they've been pulling out is Superhero Squad, Walking with Dinosaurs, Game of Thrones, Finding Nemo. That really police officer movies, right? Flashpoint, Nova, Raiders of the Lost Ark. That's just some of the stuff that's been pirated within government agencies in Canada. I wonder if they're going to get any type of sanctions put upon them. So shouldn't be a surprise here that peer-to-peer happens in the workplace, in the government as well. Well, at the same time, they're basically saying, no, don't do that to the general public. So a parent has punished his kid for triggering a 6-strike privacy alert. As we all know, the 6-strike copyright alert system has claimed its first victory. And basically what's happened here is tipped off by a copyright alert. A father found out that his kid was secretly sharing pirated materials. So this behavior did not go unpunished, and the parent in question ordered the teenager to write a note of apology to the copyright holder or else. So they're very happy about this, getting this letter. And anyway, one parent responds to a 6-strike alert that came into his email account. Here's another one that's a good one. If you get a book and you're going to scan it, don't put it online. A teacher received a pretty big surprise after uploading a copy of a book to his website that offers free educational resources for students. This Latvian, Latvin, Latvian publisher behind the work, a $4 history book, complained to authorities, which resulted in the teacher being raided by police, and he was interrogated. The teacher learned that his mistake could cost him 2 years in jail, forced labor, or a fine. So again, this was in Latvia. I don't, if I pronounced that wrong, sue me. Now, we know that Congress has quietly backed away from the CISPA and the expansion of CFAA, but the federal government has wasted no time in introducing a new HAFT-backed internet regulation. The latest comes courtesy of FBI under their proposed expansion of what's called CALA, a federal wiretapping law. Online service providers would be required to build wiretapping capabilities in their software, allowing law enforcement to secretly monitor user communications, which would effectively ban end-to-end cryptography. According to the FBI, these expanded monitoring capabilities are required because of child pornographers. They always use the child pornographer link. And terrorists are increasingly going dark, meaning instead of calling each other on their wiretap iPhones, they're sending encrypted messages over the internet, and the FBI can't read them. And, this has already jumped the shark. I don't think there's any going back. But by expanding wiretapping requirements and to include online service providers, the FBI reasons these tech-savvy villains can be brought to justice. So interesting to think that this would happen. But the FBI plan effectively gives developers a choice. Install catch-the-easily hacked monitoring software on your user devices or pay $25,000 a day in non-compliance fines. Unpaid fines double daily after 90 days, quickly paying off the national debt. Wow. So anyway, that's what's cooking in Washington, D.C. Interesting article over on QED.org, KQED.org, talking about could rooftop solar kill utilities? And this is something that's happening here in Hawaii. The utilities are only allowing 10% of homes in a given area to get solar or PV. The reason for that is that they say it causes distress on their electrical grid. And so the problem here in Hawaii is we're very fast approaching 10% in each community. And they are trying to deal with that here and what's going to happen. They actually raised electricity prices a little bit last year because of the loss in revenue based upon all the PV going on home and businesses here. So we just got to figure out a way to make energy at night with the moon. Until then, we're still going to need those power plants at night, or we're going to have to come up with the battery systems or something. So, or go back to battery systems. But needless to say, it's an interesting dilemma that's facing a lot of states, in California especially. So we'll have to see where this goes. But boy, I tell you, there's got to be a way that we're here in Hawaii. Well, of course, you can't backhaul electricity to Hawaii to the mainland, but you could backhaul electricity from, well, not really. Because when it's 4 o'clock in the morning, it's midnight, actually 10 p.m. on the East. It's vice versa. It's 4 a.m. on the East Coast. It's 10 p.m. So there's no really way to have enough sunlight. The United States is not big enough to. It is going to be interesting to see what will happen to utilities and how they're going to deal with this issue of ramping up and basically dealing with the power surges as sunlight comes on and the demand is less, and at nighttime when the demand goes up. Supreme Court says local governments can't hold up cell tower build-outs. I know that this has been a big deal for a lot of communities here in Hawaii. They got to have cell phone towers that look like palm trees. If you're ever downtown in Waikiki, look at some palm trees. If they look a little weird, it's probably a cell tower. But basically, The Supreme Court today voted in favor of the FCC in a dispute around the speed with which local governments implement proposals to build or expand cell towers, and basically saying that local governments have been slowing down the process and essentially filibustering cell networks. So basically, they've given them actual laid out timelines on which they have to respond. So this is good news for the folks that are trying to roll out more wireless. Over on The Verge, I saw something very cool from Leap Motion, and it really intrigued me. This video, I'm not going to play it for you here, but you've got to watch this. If you're a Windows 8 user, gesture control, you don't have to touch the screen. You just wave your finger at the screen. It does what what you would think it would do. This is pretty slick, but Leap Motion revealed and showing off the device gesture control with both Windows 7 and Windows 8 when plugged into the operating system. So this is going to be slick. I can't wait till this comes out on the 22nd of July. I want one of these really bad. I don't know if it was done on a Kickstarter or not, but we can look and see how I can get my hands on one. It'll be fun to use. The U.S. Senate committee has voted in favor of fingerprinting foreign travelers at U.S. airports. So the Senate Judiciary Committee voted today in favor of an amendment to an immigration reform bill that would require officials at U.S. airports to collect fingerprints or handprints of all foreign travelers, get this, leaving the country. The amendment, which was proposed by Senator Orrin Hatch, passed 13-5 in committee, along with another amendment from Senator Charles Schumer calling for a study on the cost of implementing such a fingerprinting system. Why don't they fingerprint them when they're coming in, or do they? What are they? I guess fingerprinting on you have to have the in and the out. In Japan, you put your fingers on when you're going in, and you put fingers on the little thing when you're going out to make sure you are who you say you are, and that's how they do a lot of immigration control in Japan, which they have really, really tight restrictions. Well, Apple, switching gears here, Apple has achieved record revenue per visitor. So think about this. When you visit an Apple retail store, if you go in and just look around and don't buy anything, you impact their bottom line. But what they've basically said here is that they've achieved a record revenue of $57.60 per visitor during Q1 2013. So you go in and buy something, and whatever it's averaged across, I guess, all purchases, they get them in minimum of $57.60 out of you. So that's pretty incredible. And they go in how they do the math here later in the article, but it's over on Uber Gizmo. But how many of you gotten in and out of Apple Store for under $60 lately? I'm sure a lot of you go in because the kids say, I want to go in the Apple Store. At least mine do. Think your Skype messages get end-to-end encryption? No, they don't. There's a little bit of a good story here in Ars Technica. So if you think your Skype messages are encrypted, they are not. Be aware of that, okay? All right, pay TV is hurting, and even skeptics now admit cord cutting could be at fault. And this is very interesting here. Pay TV providers are saying that in the U.S., lost subscribers over the 12 months ending in March were especially alarming, and they're seeing slower growth and lower prices people are paying because I think people are still broke. But the industry only added 445,000 subscribers in Q1 of 2012 and 470,000 in Q1 of 2011. But even with additions from satellite and phone companies, this year's first quarter was only 194,000, not enough to make up for the previous quarter losses. From April 2012 to March 2013, the industry lost a total of 80,000 subscribers. This is the first time ever there was annual industry-wide losses. And again, this could reflect a combination of a saturated market and increased focus from providers on acquiring higher value customers. And many of us are going to Netflix and other types of stuff like Google TV. So it's starting. But but it's not happening as fast as I think most of us in the tech side would wish it would. I wish it would roll off a little quicker. All right, if you use Google Voice, the new Hangouts does not have Google Voice in it at all. That was very alarming to those folks that had upgraded. Basically, Google is saying that Hangouts is designed to be the future of Google Voice, so they just haven't got it in there yet. Future versions of Hangouts will reintegrate Google Voice more seamlessly, and you still can use Gmail to make outbound Google Voice phone calls. And there's actually a new app for it as well that's pretty dedicated to doing Google Voice. All right, there's a pretty good video here. First footage of an F-35 taking off straight in the air. And so this happened down at, of course, when Shoko and I first got married, we were still active duty, and I was living down at Naval Air Station. Well, actually, we lived off base, but we were living at Naval Air Station Pax River, more commonly referred to Patuxent River. And they have all kinds of, the test directorate there and a variety of other things. And I was actually working with Naval Research Lab at the time. But the F-35 demonstrated its VTOL, the vertical takeoff and landing abilities, for the first time on camera. So this is pretty slick video, pretty exciting stuff. And again, the F-35B Lightning II has the design to have the ability to take off and land without needing to taxi. And so this is obviously going to come into play for the Marines, because the Marines fly all the VTOL aircraft. All right, now, those of you that are mathematicians, apparently a former subway worker made a breakthrough discovery in math. I don't fully understand this, but this guy by the name of Zhang came out of nowhere. He submitted his work to a paper, Annals of Mathematics, and when the editors ran through his paper, they basically said it was genius, calling it first rank. Basically, he made a breakthrough. It involves proving that there are infinitely many pairs of prime numbers with some finite gap, a sieve, and a hairbreadth, whatever that means. So anyway, there's apparently, if you're a math genius, you can read the report over at Simon's Foundation. And again, I am not, don't even claim to be anywhere near a math genius, but apparently they say this was an unanswerable question that he was able to answer. Also, I got a pretty cool demolition video, one that happened in China. I'll have that up in the show notes for you to check out. Hey, a couple of articles over in Geek News Central. In the new Google Hangouts, there's a great way to do, there's some Easter eggs in it. And basically, you can watch ponies run across the chat. Pitchform brings an angry mob to the screen. Pony Stream is more ponies. Bike Shed changes the background color for everyone. Shy Dino brings a dinosaur out. And Konami Cheat, it brings, basically changes out your local background. And so anyway, there's some cool stuff there that the folks did in Google Hangouts. It can't be done on your phone, only on your desktop. There's a good article also written up by Jen on GNC talking about the problem with promoted tweets and some issues she's had and what she's run into with some promoted tweets being pushed to her. And this is a good read for any of you that are thinking about buying any advertising on Twitter and some strategies you may want to consider before doing so. All right, finally today, Vudu has updated its app. It allows movie downloads on both the iPhone and the iPad. That's big. This is really good that you can actually do that. This feature was introduced on Android and PCs a long time ago, but this just came to iOS. So you have the ability now to download stuff on Vudu. So if you got a Vudu account, I still have one, have a little bit of credit in it. We see something from time to time on there that's not in other venues, and we get access to it. So that wraps me up for the regular part of the show tonight. Let me go ahead here and go into the email. And I got to sort through everything that's not YouTube related. I got an email here from MS Small Biz. Basically say Dolphins persuade Navy trainers to dredge up 130-year-old torpedo. the U.S. Navy doesn't exactly know how a 130-year-old brass torpedo got to the bottom of the Pacific off the coast of San Diego, but they have a couple of dolphins to thank for rediscovering their rare weapon. The find was so unexpected that the humans didn't believe the dolphins at first. The marine mammals have been trained by Navy Space and Navy Wartime System Center, California, to hunt for underwater mines and mark their locations. Divers place mine-shaped objects on the sea floor, and then they teach the dolphins to find them. It's part of training to show the dolphins what they're going to be exposed to when they're on real-world missions. During an exercise in March, conducted not far from California's historic Hotel del Coronado, the trainer sent dolphins to look for the pre-positioned target objects. The dolphins dove down, came back, and gave the trainers a signal they didn't expect. It had found something where we knew something shouldn't be. The training team dismissed that first signal as a false positive, but when the same team went back to the same place with a different dolphin, the location was flagged again. That's when the trainers started taking the animal seriously. SSC Pacific worked with recovery divers and bomb disposal experts to check out what the dolphins had found. So that's kind of cool. I know some of you are probably against them using dolphins, but it is interesting what they were able to find. So the dolphins did their jobs. I got an email here. Let me look at the date on this. Yep, we can read this one. Got an email here from Jeff. He says, "Hey, Todd, the United States Congress looks to take on Google Glass." And that link will be up in the show notes. I think that's it. Everything else was all YouTube related. Let me make sure I got everything here. Okay. That's not a comment. Stuff is intermixed here, because I just copied him in the GNC comment folder. Click, 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 click. Yep, that's it. All right, folks, that's all for today's show. We want to thank you for being here. And don't forget to support our sponsor. Support our sponsor, GoDaddy.com. Pick up a product or two, 3, 4, 5, and use that 32% off code, GO32OFF1. And get that Geek 249. Use that to get a .com for $2.49. Of course, don't forget about our friends over at Citrix GoToMeeting. Meeting is believing. Use the promo code podcast there when you get that free 30-day trial. Also, we're still looking for folks to support us by becoming an insider. We hope that you consider doing that, supporting us with a $2, $5, $10, $25 a month contribution. That helps us so that over time we can wean ourselves from advertising. And that's going to be a wrap for today's show. Those of you on the stream, thanks. Appreciate to let me know about the audio issue. I'm probably going to have a heck of an edit to do on the video tonight, because I'm going to have to take the audio from that machine and put it on this machine, because probably the audio is not usable. What can I do? His machine has got an issue, and now it's time to pull the trigger and get a replacement. All right, folks, that's it. We'll see you next time. Everyone, take care. Aloha.